Recently on the channel, I told you guys that I was going to try to live in GhostBSD for the next 30 days on my main production machine. I was going to try to live in GhostBSD for the next 30 days. I was going to try to produce all my videos, do my live streams, do all the content creation I do to produce my YouTube channel in GhostBSD for the next month. And I've spent the last 2 days trying to install GhostBSD and get everything set up so I could do these kinds of videos, and already I'm ready to give up on that project. I'm ready to tap out. On the flip side though, I did buy some really neat new equipment, so let me share that with you. So first things first, it's been 3 days since the last time I made a video. Today is Tuesday. The last time I made a video was Sunday. For me to take 3 days off from doing videos on my channel is very unusual. I average about 1 video a day. That's about my average. I usually produce somewhere between 6 and 7 videos every week. So to take 3 days off, you guys probably already knew something was wrong. Well, I took Sunday off. I decided to give myself a day off. Sunday, I did nothing all day Sunday. And then I was going to hit it hard Monday. I was going to get GhostBSD installed on my main production machine and try to get my first video out of me living in GhostBSD produced on Monday. So I worked my real job that morning, Monday morning, got home and received in the mail some of my new equipment, my 6-bay IC dock, which I'll discuss later, and a couple of SSD drives. So I got my IC dock installed on the computer. That way I don't have to wipe out Manjaro, which is the Linux distribution I was already running. I didn't want to wipe out my Manjaro installation because it just works. So the IC dock and the extra drives gave me the opportunity to go ahead and install GhostBSD with, you know, a fallback plan. If GhostBSD doesn't work, I've still got the drive, my main drive, that has Manjaro installed. So I spent all night Monday night getting GhostBSD installed. The install process, pretty straightforward as far as, you know, the graphical installer. Once you download the ISO, create a live USB stick. The install process, 15 minutes, but it's after the install process. Installing all the software I needed. Some of it was in the repos, some of it wasn't. Some of it is available as ports. Of course, ports is, you have to compile things when you use ports. Some of the compilation times take forever. Some of the problems I ran into immediately though. Let's start at the beginning. I get GhostBSD installed Monday night. I boot into it for the first time after the installation. I have no internet. I'm using a wired connection on my main production machine. I have no Ethernet. This is inside the XFCE desktop environment. There's a little network manager applet sitting in the sys tray. It says everything is good, but I have no internet. I can ping anything I want to in the terminal. Nothing happens. Of course, no web pages open up. I can't install, remove software. Anything that requires the internet. Internet is definitely not working, even though the network manager applet seems to tell me it is. Anyway, I disabled networking. I re-enabled networking in the applet. I get internet back. So that's an easy fix, but here's the thing. Every time I reboot my machine, I never have internet, and I always have to do that in that network manager applet. I have to disable networking, even though it's already not working, and then enable networking, and then boom, I have internet. I'm not sure why. The other thing out of the box with GhostBSD is I have 3 monitors, right? Well, as soon as I boot into GhostBSD that first time after installation, only 1 monitor is working. My center monitor was working, the other 2 are dead. Now, why is that? It's because whatever free and open driver they're using just is not going to detect my other 2 monitors. I have an NVIDIA card. It's an easy fix. I had to install the NVIDIA drivers. I had to install the NVIDIA driver package plus 2 extra NVIDIA packages like NVIDIA settings, NVIDIA Xconfig, something another. But it's not just a matter of downloading the NVIDIA drivers, rebooting the machine, and everything working again. No. In GhostBSD, even though it's supposed to be kind of an easy to use, noob-friendly BSD, I actually had to edit my /etc/rc.config file. And I had to add 2 or 3 different lines to that config file to get the NVIDIA drivers to work. I also had to edit the /boot/loader.config file. Had to edit those 2 config files in the terminal using Nano or Vim, adding a couple of lines to each of those files to get the NVIDIA drivers to work. Now, reboot. NVIDIA drivers are finally working. You know, I'm a couple of hours into this thing, and I finally have all 3 monitors working. I figured out how to get internet working. You know, where to go from there? Well, I want to go ahead and import all my backups into my new GhostBSD. I'd backed up all my stuff from Manjaro, all my important documents that I wanted to take with me over to my new GhostBSD installation. So I plug in my USB external SSD. Doesn't auto mount. Can't figure out how to mount it in the terminal. I'm not sure what commands to use. I looked up some commands. Everything I tried did not work. I don't know if it's a problem with the file system I used. I used I think NTFS on that particular drive when I formatted it in Manjaro and backed everything up. I don't know if it's a problem. I'm using ZFS and GhostBSD. I also couldn't get some of my USB sticks to mount. So not being able to get these drives mounted caused me a lot of headache, because now I've got all this data that I really need to get up and running, you know, my channel, so I can make these videos and, you know, all my config files and everything. So I started having to do all that through the cloud. I started using Dropbox and a couple of other tools to get some of the more important configs. Of course, I couldn't do anything huge, you know, like wasn't bringing over like video or any of my large virtual machines, all of that. So that's still on that SSD until I can figure out a way to mount my SSD, my external SSD. I can't do anything. Also, it's not just mounting the external SSD. Now I have 2 SSDs in this machine, the one that has Manjaro on it, one that has GhostBSD. I can't get the Manjaro SSD mounted when I'm running GhostBSD. I just can't get anything to mount. I'm not sure why. I'm using XFCE and GhostBSD, so that's the desktop environment I chose. XFCE is nice. I've always liked XFCE. I don't think XFCE is the problem. Now, I could try some more minimal window managers, maybe. I did check Qtile and Xmonad, you know, 2 tiling window managers that I use on Manjaro. They are available, but they're not available in the standard repos. I would have to compile them using ports. I'm not sure how well that would go. I did check OpenBox as well. OpenBox is in the repo, so I could quickly get up and running an OpenBox session in GhostBSD if I wanted to try OpenBox rather than XFCE. But the point of this was to live in XFCE, a desktop environment I don't normally live in, but, you know, OpenBox, you know, you guys have seen me run OpenBox. But I was going to go XFCE for that 30-day challenge while living in GhostBSD. Anyway, the end of the day, though, Monday, still didn't really have everything up and running, so I got up this morning, Tuesday, 9 a.m. and it is almost 10 p.m. I have spent most of the day working on that GhostBSD installation. First things first, I installed OBS, Kdenlive, Audacity, GIMP. 4 programs that I need to do this. To do my videos, create the thumbnails for it, filter audio, to edit video. OBS, Kdenlive, Audacity, and GIMP. Got those installed, no problem. They were in the repos. They all, you know, opened up correctly, no errors. So OBS works fine, except webcam. The webcam, I couldn't get a webcam on it at first. I don't know why. It might have been because I plugged in 2 or 3 different cameras, my webcam and a Canon DSLR camera that I'll show you later. But for some reason, when it got around to me sitting down and ready to make a recording, it would not pick up this webcam. And I don't know why. I played with all the USB ports in the back of the machine, front of the machine. Played with QV, what is it? Video for Linux, V4L2. Played with settings and the webcam. I tried to get it up and running in Cheese. rebooted the machine a couple of times. Finally, all of a sudden, the webcam started working. I'm like, okay. This was after I killed an hour trying to get the webcam up and running. And it's starting to get kind of late in the evening. I'm ready to really make a video now. Now I've got OBS, I've got the layout and everything, got the webcam ready to make this video, and I start recording. And I record a couple of minutes worth of video. And then I stop the recording to take a break. And I go to listen to the first segment that I recorded in an audio player, or a video player actually. And the video looks great, but there's no audio. My microphone is not being detected. So I spent, at least 2 hours after that trying to figure out why my Blue Yeti mic is not detected anywhere in GhostBSD and OBS, Pulse Audio Volume Control. I could not figure out what device it is. There's 7 devices to choose from, 7 USB devices to choose from in the Pulse Audio Volume Control, and I tried all 7. None of them gave me audio through this microphone. I spent, again, 2 solid hours trying to get this microphone to work. Finally, having spent pretty much a day and a half in GhostBSD with all the problems I've had with internet, mounting drives, webcam wasn't working part of the time, and then finally I just can't get my Blue Yeti microphone to work at all. I went ahead and here at 10 o'clock at night, after a day and a half of trying to work on GhostBSD, I booted into the Manjaro drive here, my Manjaro installation, to make this video, because it had been 3 days since I made any content. I needed to make a video. So here I am in Manjaro. Now let's discuss some new equipment. I got some new equipment in the mail yesterday and today. A couple of pieces arrived yesterday, a couple of new pieces arrived today. So these 2 days that I spent fooling around with GhostBSD, I also did get some really neat equipment in the mail. So I wanted to show you guys. First of all, I already told you a little bit about my 6-bay IC dock. Basically, this is just a swappable SSD bay. It sits basically in your computer's tower here. You see where I have my optical drive, my DVD drive. The DVD drive comes out, and the IC dock goes right in that slot. Took a couple of pictures with my cell phone here, but actually, let me back up. The most important thing here, the IC dock, is a 6-bay dock, so it takes up to 6 SSD drives. I went ahead and ordered 2 SP 256 gig drives. SP stands for silicon power. These are those really cheap SSD drives that I bought one for my Toshiba, not my Toshiba, my Lenovo ThinkPad that I bought recently on the channel, my used ThinkPad that I upgraded the drive to a 256 gig SSD. These drives are $57. So I bought 2 of those. The IC dock was $60. I also got some crunchy cheese curls to snack on while I did this project. Anyway, so the optical drive needs to come out. Boy, that fan in the front is really dusty. Man, there was dust everywhere. You see the cooling in the back, the water cooler? Man, it was covered in dust. I had to blow all that out. Ignore the really messy case. But anyway, DVD drive comes out. And the IC dock goes right in, the 6-bay IC dock. Anyway, that took like 5 minutes to install. Any of you guys that were thinking about getting the IC dock, super simple. Requires no tools. I mean, it requires a screwdriver to screw in a couple of screws just to secure the IC dock, but there's really no tools. The drive bays themselves, it's just a flick of a button and you can pull the drive bays out with the SSD intact. So 6 SSDs. I could only afford to buy 2 initially. So I got 2. I only installed the 1 SSD that I installed GhostBSD on. Here's the second one, the second SP 256 gig drive. Why did I not go ahead and install this when I had the machine open? Well, you need SATA cables to power these things, and I only had 1 SATA cable that was free. I need to buy SATA cables with each of the drives that I put in this thing going forward. So if eventually I'll have 5 more drives to put in, I need to buy 5 SATA cables. I didn't have a SATA cable for this one, so it didn't go in yet, but I will take care of that very shortly. I need to buy me some SATA cables. Maybe the next time I go to Best Buy, I'll check that out. So I got the IC dock and the SSD drives yesterday, and I got those shortly before I did the GhostBSD installation, because after I got that is when I decided now's the time to give GhostBSD a try. Of course, GhostBSD is not working out for me at all. Today, I got this neat little thing in the mail. The Elgato Cam Link. The Elgato Cam Link. Let me open the box and show you guys. So the Elgato Cam Link looks like this. It looks like a really oversized USB thumb drive, because that's what it is. You plug this into a USB 3 port, and in the back, that is an HDMI connection. This is an HDMI capture device. So any video device that outputs to HDMI, you would use this to capture that video, such as a DSLR camera. This camera is not my camera. This is a Canon SL1, pretty nice camera, but not good for what I would need. But this was a family member's camera I borrowed just to test the Cam Link, because I wanted to buy the Cam Link before I bought an expensive camera, because I wanted to try the Cam Link, which was about 130 bucks first, to make sure it worked in Linux. It does. I plug this into a USB 3 port, and then I connect the USB cable to a mini, or sorry, the HDMI cable to a mini HDMI connection in the camera. Now I have a video source for this camera in OBS. Now this particular model of camera, again, this was just a test. That's a loaner from a family member. That camera would not work for me. I couldn't make a video with that camera because it does not have clean HDMI output, meaning there's stuff on the screen, timestamps and, you know, hash markings and everything. You guys, if you've ever done, you know, any kind of camera work, you know, when you're actually recording the camera, you know, you have your output in the back of the camera. You know, there's crud all over the screen. You know, that's not going to work for what I need. I need a camera that you can remove everything off the screen while you're previewing it. So eventually I'm going to buy me a DSLR camera of some kind with clean HDMI output. I've already got the capture device. The Elgato Cam Link works great in Manjaro. Now, very briefly, when I was fighting with GhostBSD today and I was having problems with my Logitech webcam, I did try the Elgato Cam Link with that Canon DSLR camera, just on the off chance that it might work. GhostBSD, this thing did not work at all. I couldn't get anything up with it, but apparently this is a plug-and-play device for Linux. So the Elgato Cam Link, again, the IC dock, 6-bay dock was $59.99. The Cam Link, 130 bucks. My SP drives, the Silicon Power drives here that are 256 gigs, $57 on Amazon. That's US. So 2 days into GhostBSD, I could not make a video. I spent 2 days, I still could not make a video of me living in GhostBSD today, at least not using OBS and my webcam and my Blue Yeti mic. If I can't get my microphone working, which is a big deal, there's no way I can do GhostBSD. So I've still got it, you know, on a second drive. You know, I didn't have to wipe out GhostBSD. I'm sure there's some BSD guys out there that when they watch this video can offer me some advice. I signed up at the GhostBSD forums. I have not posted any help request over there yet because I pretty much spent all day today trying to figure these things out on my own. That's usually what I do. But I'll post some support questions over there. But already, you know, I probably need to move on to something else as far as, you know, a 30-day challenge. I don't think GhostBSD is going to work for me. I just don't. I think I'm going to fight it the entire time, and I can't have downtime as far as I can't have what I just had, which was 2 days of me not producing any content because, you know, I just couldn't, you know, get my equipment to work. So might come up with something else. I know a lot of you guys that voted in the poll voted for Windows 10. Really don't want to live in Windows 10 for a month, mainly because I don't have a copy of Windows 10. But But maybe, I don't know. We'll come up with something. If you guys got any suggestions for what we should do for the next 30 days, I'm all ears. Before I go, I do want to give a special thanks to all my patrons, all my Patreon supporters. You guys make this show possible. And of course, I'm talking about David, Carlos, Nick, Daniel, Brian, Leor, AK, Ron, Keith, Dan, Michael, Tony, Bruno, David, Mike, Silvio, Omar, Mark, Mr. Neelybops, John, Carl, Greg, Rob, Matt, Christian Tiedemann, Stephen Z, Eduardo, Alex, Jake, Benjamin, Stephen B, Marcus, Interceptor, Two Belly, Hume, First Paul, Second Paul, Chuck, Ben, John, Swami, Mr. Smarty Pants, Dan, and Bart. Without you guys, I couldn't afford that IC dock, this Elgato Cam Link. Eventually, I need to spend $500 to $600 on a good DSLR camera for this Cam Link. You guys couldn't do this without you. Peace.